News from the past. How did children live before? Welcome to Hamster NBC, the Kids Ask Why news series, where we explore the world with humor and clear explanations. And only on our channel do children always get a long-awaited bedtime story at the end of each episode. This is Pears, the hamster, and Mark the Queen's corgi. And today we're traveling back in time to discover how children lived many hundreds of years ago. Imagine a world without electricity, without cars, and without the internet. Children woke up with the first rays of the sun and immediately became part of adults' lives. Pears explains that in the Middle Ages, children weren't divided into little and big. Mark adds that children were considered helpers almost from the moment they could walk confidently. In Europe, children learned crafts early. A shoemaker's son made shoes, a weaver's daughter worked with thread, and farmers' children cared for animals. In the East, in cities like Baghdad and Busra, merchants' children learned to count, trade, and read stories from an early age. Schools existed, but they looked different. Students sat on carpets or wooden benches, and knowledge was imparted through stories and examples. Mark notes was surprised that books were rare then. Pears responds that memory was therefore considered a true treasure. Toys were feo, but imagination was abundant. Children played imaginary games, listened to travelers, tales, and dreamed of distant lands. Children listened especially attentively to the stories of sailors. Each ship brought rumors of wondrous islands, giant fish, and unseen lands. Pears says it was stories like these that taught children to dream. Mark adds that some dreams turned into real journeys. It was in this world, where stories were more important than maps, that the man we'll be talking about today grew up. And now the day is drawing to a close. The noise dies down, and it's time for the very story that many people wait for at the end of the episode. Only on Hamster NBC, a true bedtime story. And now the day is slowly drawing to a close. The noise grows quieter. Thoughts slow down, and it's time for storytelling. But before we begin, let's do one small but important thing. If you enjoy learning new things, if you enjoy listening to stories before bed, and if you want to come back again, subscribe to the Hamster NBC channel and like this video. This way, you'll help us create even more kind stories and clear explanations for children all over the world. Now, get comfortable. History is waiting for you. Sinbad the Sailor. The First Voyage. Long ago, in the wealthy city of Baghdad, there lived a man named Sinbad. He was young, curious, and dreamed of a life full of adventure. Pears quietly says that such dreams rarely bring peace. Mark nods and settles in. Preparing to listen, Sinbad inherited a large fortune, but quickly squandered it. He spent the money easily, without thinking about tomorrow. When his gold ran out, he realized it was time for a change. He decided to set sail to earn an honest living and see the world. Sinbad joined the merchants who were preparing the ship for a long voyage. The sea seemed calm, and the sky friendly. The ship set sail, and Sinbad felt the joy of freedom. The wind filled the sails. An unknown lands lay ahead. A few days later, the travelers saw an island. It was green and quiet, as if made for relaxation. The merchants went ashore, lit a fire, and began cooking. Sinbad sat down on the ground and closed his eyes. But suddenly, the island trembled. The ground beneath his feet began to shift. Mark, pause. Pears whispered that sometimes the most beautiful places are not what they seem. It turned out to be not an island, but a huge fish sleeping on the surface of the sea. Frightened by the fire, it dove into the depths. The ship sailed away, leaving Sinbad alone among the waves. He barely made it to the real island, tired but alive. There, his true test began. Sinbad lay on the sand, and for a long time couldn't believe he was alive. The waves died down, and around him lay a real island, green and quiet. Pears cautiously notes that the sea sometimes tests a person. Mark adds that the first test is always the most unexpected. Sinbad rose and walked deeper into the island. There he found a spring of fresh water and trees bearing fruit. He realized he must be patient and attentive. At sea, it's not the strongest who survive, but the calmest. After some time, Sinbad noticed human tracks. The path led him to a wide road along which horsemen were riding. They were servants of the local ruler. Saying Sinbad they were surprised but not afraid, they took him to the palace, where a wise and calm king ruled. Sinbad told him about the ship, the false island, and how he ended up alone. Mark quietly says that an honest story often opens doors. Pears nods and agrees. The king listened to Sinbad and invited him to stay. Sinbad began working at court and assisting with trade. He quickly learned how life on the island worked. Ships came and went, bringing news from all over the world. Sinbad assisted the merchants, counting goods and recording transactions. His intelligence and honesty were noticed by everyone. Much time passed, and Sinbad became a respected man, but his heart still yearned for the sea. Pears says that a traveler never forgets the way. Mark adds that the sea has a quiet but persistent call. One day, a large ship came ashore. It was heading back to Baghdad. The king allowed Sinbad to go home and generously rewarded him with gifts. Sinbad said goodbye to the island and set out to sea again. This time, he was wiser and more attentive. The journey was peaceful, and the ship arrived safely in his hometown. Sinbad returned home, not a poor or carefree youth, but a man who understood the value of hard work and caution. Mark says with satisfaction that his first voyage taught him the most important thing. Pears adds that this is how a true hero's journey begins. Sinbad told his story to his friends and family. They listened with amazement and respect. He realized that the sea not only takes, but also teaches. Those who know how to listen return stronger. Thus ended Sinbad the Sailor's first voyage. But new roads and new challenges lay ahead.